Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. In this video, you're going to learn about recognizing anxiety and some things to do to kind of help beat it. Now, it all kind of starts with receiving the news or the information of what it is that you kind of just went through, or what you are about to go through. And then at that point, it's all about what is your gut feeling telling you? What is it? What are you feeling? Right? That instant, that moment when you feel that, and when you recognize that the feelings are happening that are starting to cause anxiety, is what you really need to pay attention to. It's difficult when you're not used to doing it, and it takes a little time and it takes a little practice. But as a cancer survivor, you start to learn when your anxiety starts to kick in due to certain aspects or certain events that happen after you have either gone remission or the doctors have said that you are cancer free. A good example is scan anxiety, or how I like to talk or call it is scanxiety. And it really kind of starts when you know that you have a scan coming up. And when I mean a scan, it's either a PT scan or PET scan, PET scan, or like a CT scan. Now it all kind of depends. I did a bunch of both. I ended up doing CT scans a little bit later because they were able to compare lymph nodes in my circulatory system to see if there was an increase or decrease going on. PET scans are a little bit more, there's more to it. So for me, the anxiety was a lot higher when I knew that I had a PET scan going on. And by recognizing this and then finally understanding what it meant, kind of the difference between them, and that they could get a good idea of what was happening with my body, especially with the specific lymph nodes that we were keeping an eye on, which was in my chest, for the size, and they could compare that. When I would schedule these scans, it would kind of set the trigger off in my head to kind of go down this path of anxiety. And it wouldn't be too bad until I knew that within like a couple weeks, a few weeks before the scan, my anxiety would start to raise, because I knew at that point that I was going in for these things, and until I got the information back, I was kind of just a wreck. And I knew this, and so I got to realize when and how anxiety really started being created in my life and in my situation because of this situation, this circumstance. As time has gone on, I am at this point about 8.5, not quite 8.5 years since I've been in remission. And I haven't had a PET scan or a CT scan in a number of years now, about 4 years. And because of that, I have kind of alleviated a lot of my stress that has caused the anxiety in my life. And this is just one example, right? As time has kind of gone on, what I've learned from the triggers that cause the anxiety in my life, I've been able to apply that to other areas. I can use that in work, in sports, and in my relationships, and every aspect of my life. So when I'm out, like a good example is when I'm out riding, or I go out to go hiking and what I call split boarding or skinning. I'm able to take my environment into account, and as I get deeper into the backcountry, I can realize and feel when things aren't quite right. If I'm starting to get into an area that feels a little bit too dangerous, I've been able to let myself know when that anxiety starts to happen, and I really have started to pay attention to what my gut is feeling. So with that said, I'm able to start making decisions that will help alleviate those stresses and that cause the anxiety. Now it takes time, it takes time to really understand and to really learn your feelings and to feel confident in the choices that you make because of that. Because when you are under stress and when you are feeling anxiety and you start making choices and decisions, sometimes those decisions can be irrational and cause more problems. It's taken me time to really learn that. I am absolutely guilty of making bad decisions as I've gone along, but it's okay. And as I have learned to really do better things and actually simplify the stress that causes the anxiety, and that has been a huge help for me. Your feelings of fear and frustration, or even relief, pay attention to those things, because with myself and having like the PET scans, I get a lot of anxiety because I've been through the part of having a reoccurrence and through a PET scan, and that was devastating to me. So that is one of the reasons that negative experience really has created such a bad anxiety for me. And now that I'm in a good spot and I'm doing well and keeping healthy and being active and whatever, I'm able to pay a lot more attention to my body and feel a lot more confident that the decisions I'm making are good ones now. I keep that anxiety and that stress as low as I can. And there are times where my stress levels are off the charts. Lately, my stresses have been pretty high because I have an event going on for my nonprofit, Strap In for Life. Living in Breckenridge, we have big snowboard and ski contests that come through town every early winter, and the Dew Tour, Mountain Dew, has their initial kickoff of the season's competition scene. And Mountain Dew hosts this, or Breckenridge hosts this big contest, the part of the Dew Tour, and we have a tent there, and we have a booth that's to help spread the word of what Strappin' for Life is all about. There's a lot of intricacies, pieces and parts and all that, so of course my stress level is really high because I have to fit all this stuff in with my full-time job and with Internal Architect. So it's, stress is high because there's a lot of things I need to get done before the event happens. But that's okay. It's something I recognize, and I'm just slowly checking off those things one at a time. I have a good list of items that need to be accomplished before next weekend, and I'm making headway every single day on it. Just like I make headway on Internal Architect and all the relationships and everything else in my life. So by doing this, I'm able to keep my anxiety semi-contained and just keep chipping away at it. And by the end of the event, it will be a huge relief, and I will be able to kind of move on and feel really good and confident that something awesome has happened, not only for myself, but for the family that we are bringing to Breckenridge that has dealt with and is dealing with cancer at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of the big thing, is learning just really to admit that anxiety is happening. And once you're able to do that, you can start to control it. That's why I really, really like being physically active, because it really helps create a good sense of endorphins or an endorphin rush that really helps calm all those nerves and calms that anxiety. And that's the best way that I have felt really battles the anxiety side of things. So when I'm really feeling frustrated, I'm really feeling fearful or frustration or whatever, I do my best to get outside into nature and just go do something physically active, get my heart rate up, get everything going, and when I'm done, I feel so much better. And so I think that's something I want you to really try to do. Now, if you live in an urban area, go ahead and go to the closest park that you're at and time yourself, see how long it takes you to walk around the entire thing. And if it takes you half an hour, you just did a half an hour's worth of exercise that helps calm those nerves and calms that anxiety down. I think that is one of the best ways that you are going to find it. One, it doesn't cost you anything except possibly a little bit of gas to get to the park. And when you're done with it at the end of the day, you feel really good. And then you can kind of continue your life and work on those other projects that are going on that might be causing all that anxiety. Consider it like a break from everything that's going on, right? So keep that in mind. Take some action into keeping those nerves calm when you're facing something stressful, and that's going to really help clear your mind and really help you get through that challenge that you're facing. And just also remember that it's never going to totally go away. You're never going to solve the anxiety issue. It's always going to be there. It's just learning how to deal with it and counteracting it with other good positive things that is going to help you with battling the anxiety. So yeah, keep in mind that we're looking to recognize that there's anxiety going on, and to doing something that will help counter it, right? And by being active is the best way that I've found to be able to do that. So yeah, please start to be aware of it. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me in the comment section below. And if you have, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And then by all means, share this, or tag some friends in this that you think might really benefit from the teachings here today. Yeah, give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. And I just want to say thank you so much for your time and your energy into watching the videos. It really means a lot to me. And with that, I really hope you have a great day, and I will see you on the next video.